A pleasant evening to everyone and to you, Ma'am Sheng. We are the last group, Group 6, and we were going to talk about the periodic table. So we will discuss the history and the property and information about periodic table. So now, first Pepito will talk about the history of the periodic table.
Periodic table. The periodic table is an organized arrangement of chemical elements by their atomic number and chemical properties. The periodic table was discovered in the early 19th centuries. So to classify their atomic number. Johann Wegener. In 1877, John Wegener discovered a group of 3 elements with similar properties, and the properties are alkali, metals, and halogens. 1863, A.E. Charles Tortoise, or Alexander Emil Charles Tortoise, he proposed a cylindrical arrangement of elements based on their atomic weight. In 1864, he introduced a law of updates. Element properties repeat every 8 elements. Wait. Sa John Tortoise ay ang muna niyang naging first 7 elements ay hydrogen, lithium, and beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. 1869, Dmitry Mendeleev, he created the first periodic table arranging elements by their mass predicted to existence of undiscovered elements. In 1869 then, Lothar Meyer independently developed a similar classification of elements. Sa tulad ng Dmitry Mendeleev. And that's for my part. And Barbolas.
So let's talk about now the arrangement of elements in the periodic table. So the elements in the periodic table are arranged in order of their increasing atomic numbers. Their increasing order are from left to right and top to bottom. In this table, there are 18 vertical columns called groups and 7 horizontal rows called periods. So this is the group. The group is vertical and horizontal rows are called periods. Elements in the same group exhibit similar chemical characteristics due to having the same number of valence electrons. Example is group 1, they have the same oxidation state or valence electrons. They have the +1 oxidation state. The table is divided into blocks based on electron configuration. S block includes alkaline and alkaline earth metals. These elements are soft metals, electropositive, and form basic oxide. The S block is from group 1 and 2. They are alkaline and alkaline metals. The P block encompasses metalloids, nonmetals, and molecules. Together with S block, elements are called main group elements. So the P block is from group 13 to 18. If the S block and P block together, they are called main groups of elements. And V block, the D block is these elements are called transition elements. This block contains the elements of group 3 to 12 in table. F block consists of 2 series, lanthanides and actinides of the period, also called inner transition metals. They are found in the bottom part of the periodic table. That's how they do it.
The periodic table is a systematic arrangement of chemical elements based on their atomic number, electrons, configuration, and recurring chemical properties. It helps in understanding the elements' relationship, such as reactivity and bonding characteristics. elements is divided into two. These are the groups and periods. We have 18 groups in total and 7 periods in total. Groups is the elements in the same group has a similar chemical properties because they have the same number of valence electrons. And for periods, elements in the same period have the same number of electron shells. And moving from left to right, elements transition from metallic to non-metallic processes. Properties, And why is it important? Groups determine reactivity based on valence electrons. Periods show atomic size and interaction with other elements. Also, the understanding of groups and periods allows scientists to predict elements' behavior in chemical reaction, helping in various scientific and industrial applications. And that's all. Thank you.
So now let's talk about the element's properties. So first, we have atomic number, or the symbol Z. It represents the number of protons in an atom's nucleus. It determines the identity of an element. So sa atomic number naman, o atomic symbol niya na Z, ay bilang siya ng protons sa loob ng mga nucleus ng isang atom. Ito rin ay ginagamit para ayusin ang mga elements sa periodic table. Like for example, yung hydrogen natin ay may atomic number siya na 1. Ibig sabihin, may isang proton lang siya na meron. While sa oxygen naman, ang atomic number naman niya ay 8. Ang ibig sabihin naman ay may 8 na proton siya sa nucleus nito. Kapag neutral naman ang isang atom, ibig sabihin parehas lang sila ng bilang ng protons at electrons. Second is element, symbol, and name. Each element has a symbol, 1 or 2 letters. First is capitalized. Some symbol derived from Latin names. So dito naman sa element symbol, lahat naman ng elements ay may pangalan at may symbol. At kadalasan sa symbol, may isa o dalawang letra lang tayo na kinukuha, which is minsan galing siya sa first and second letter ng pangalan ng isang element. Like for example, yung carbon. Nakuha yung element symbol ng carbon na C sa first letter ng carbon. Ganon din sa oxygen na kinuha din yung element symbol na O sa first letter ng oxygen. While may mga element symbol din, may element din tayo na malayo yung element symbol sa element name. Dahil yung element symbol nila is nanggaling sa Latin word. Like for example, yung gold. Alam natin yung element symbol ng gold is Au, which is derived siya sa Latin word na aurum, and doon nakuha yung element symbol ng gold na Au. So third is atomic mass. The average mass of all isotopes of an element. So sa atomic mass naman, ito yung average mass na lahat ng isotope ng isang element. Kaya minsan, hindi eksaktong whole number ang atomic mass sa periodic table. Like for example, yung carbon. May atomic mass siya na 12.01 AMU, or karamihan ng carbon ay atomic mass na 12, pero may ibang isotopes tulad ng carbon 13 at carbon 14. So dito sa example natin na property ng element na gold, may atomic mass siya or atomic weight na 196.967. So, pangina naman is states of matter at room temperature 25 degrees Celsius. So, sa solid, may iron tayo, and element symbol Fe, gold, Au, carbon C, sa liquid naman mercury, Hg, bromine, Br, sa gas naman oxygen, nitrogen, and neon. So, dito naman sa states of matter, sa state of matter, ang ilang periodic table ay nagpapakita kung ano ang physical state ng isang element sa room temperature. temperature. So yun nga, is solid. Karamihan ng elements ay nasa solid state tulad ng iron and gold. While sa liquid naman, dalawang elemento lang ang liquid sa room temperature, yung mercury at bromine. While sa gas naman, maraming non-metal ay nasa gas state tulad ng oxygen, nitrogen at neon. So, next naman is crystal structure. Define the arrangement of atoms in atom in a solid. May tatlo tayong uri ng crystal structure. Ay yung first centered cubic or FCC ay yung example dito sa gold. Ang crystal structure ng gold or AU is face-centered cubic. While sa body-centered cubic or BCC ay yung mga tulad ng iron, chromium, at tungsten. Sa hexagonal closed pack naman or HCP, ito yung example ng magnesium, zinc, at titanium. So last is acid-base property. So dito naman, it determines how oxidate reacts with acid valence, with acid or bases. So dito naman, may dalawa tayong uri, yung electronegativity, kung saan ito yung sinusukat ito kung gaano kahigpit humawak ng electrons sa isang elements kapag bumubuo ng bonds. Gumagamit tayo ng Pauling scale kung saan yung fluorine ang may pinakamataas na electronegativity na umaabot na 3.98 at mga metals tulad ng cesium ang may pinakamababa. Sa oxidation naman, ipinapakita nito kung paano nakukuha o nawawala ng electrons ang isang element sa isang reaction. Tulad ng sodium or Na, nadadagdagan siya ng positive 1 dahil madaling magbigay ng electron. So sa iron naman, nadadagdagan siya ng positive 2 or positive 3, kaya iba-iba yung kulay ng kalawang. Sa oxygen naman, bumabawas naman ito ng negative 2, karaniwan sa compounds tulad ng tubig or H2O. So sa madaling salita, electronegativity at oxidation state ay nakakatulong sa pag-unawa ng reactivity ng elements sa periodic table. So ayun.
Good day, everyone. For today, I'll be your reporter. And what is my reporting all about? The periodic table categorizes elements into metals, nonmetals, metalloids, and alkaline metals, each with unique properties. It means that each element can be categorized into 4 groups, which are metals, nonmetals, metalloids, and alkaline metals, based on their unique properties like their atomic number. Classifying elements aids in understanding properties, identifying patterns, and predicting unknowns. It means that it helps scientists to easily know each element based on their properties and their patterns. Now let's continue. The first group is the metals. Elements that are included in the group of metals are solid, shiny, malleable, and excellent conductors of heat and electricity. It means that metals elements, their physical properties are solid, shiny, malleable, and when it comes to conducting heat and electricity, they are very good conductors. They lose electrons to form positive ions, react with nonmetals to form salts and oxides, and have high density and melting points. For them to form positive ions, they must lose electrons, and when they encounter nonmetals, they react with it, and they can form into salts and their chemical properties. They are very high density and melting points. Their conductivity makes them essential in industries, construction, and electronics. For example, iron, silver, and gold. Iron can be used into construction, like building a bridges, and building houses. And as for gold and silver, they can be used to make jewelry. And another for silver, it can also be used to make coins. The next group is non-metals. Non-metals elements exist in various states, solid, liquid, gas, and are poor conductors of heat and electricity. It means that elements that belong to non-metals, they can be found in the form of solid, liquids, and gas. And compared to metals, when it comes to conducting heat and electricity, they are poor conductors. They tend to gain electrons, forming anions. In metals, they lose electrons to form positive ions. But for metals, they gain electrons and it forms into anions. They are crucial for life processes and industrial applications such as water treatment and medical oxygen. The next group is the metalloids. Metalloids elements exhibit properties of both metals and non-metals, making them useful semiconductors. As for metalloids, they consist of both metals and non-metals. It means that metalloid elements in one element, they consist both metal and non-metal. And they are very useful semiconductors. Semiconductor means that they can conduct electricity and some conduction. They have a metallic luster but are brittle. Means they are breakable with controlled electrical conductivity. And metals, their conductivity when it comes to heat and electricity, they are very good conductors. For non-metals, they are poor conductors, but for metalloids, they are controlled. Their main applications include electronics, solar cells, and materials like glass and ceramic. Metalloid elements are very crucial in our electronics. Other than this, for example, silicon. Silicon is a versatile semiconductor. It can be used into computer chips. And the last one is the alkali metals. Alkali metals elements are soft, shiny, and highly reactive due to their single outer electron. Alkali metals' physical properties are soft and shiny, and they are very highly reactive since they only have single outer electron. They react with water, producing hydrogen gas and hydroxides. Their reactivity increases down the group while their metallic character decreases. In other words, as the elements age, they're becoming less metallic and they're being more non-metallic. And as the elements ages, they're becoming less metallic and they're becoming more non-metallic. And as for their electronegativity and hallucination energy, it is increasing. And then and because of that, their atoms are becoming larger. That's all. Thank you. And now let's proceed to periodic tables. We have atomic stages, ionization energy, electron affinity, electron negativity,
charge, so they attract the negatively charged electrons. This causes the electrons to be pulled closer to the nucleus, which decreases the atomic radius. As you move down the group, you move into a higher period. Each period has more electron orbitals surrounding the nucleus, which increases the atomic radius. Next is, let's proceed to ionization energy. Ionization energy increases from left to right across a period on the periodic table and decreases from the top to bottom within a group. As we move from the top to bottom within a group, the size of the atom decreases. This means that the first electron removed is further from the nucleus, making it easier to remove. As we move from left to right across a period, the number of protons in the nucleus increases. This increases the attraction between the nucleus and the electrons, making it more difficult to remove an electron. Now let's proceed to electron affinity. Electron affinity increases as we move across a period from left to right because the nucleus increases, charge increases. The electron affinity of an element is the energy change that happens when an atom gains an electron. The stronger the attraction between the nucleus and the incoming electron, the more energy is released. Now let's proceed to electronegativity. Electronegativity increases from left to right across a period and decreases from the top to bottom within a group. This means that the most electronegative elements are in the top right of the table, while the least electronegative are in the bottom left. Next, the last one is metallic character. The metallic character of an element decreases from left to right across. And the last one is the metallic character. The metallic character of an element decreases from the left to right across a period of the periodic table and increases down a group. As we move from left to right across a period, the number of electrons and protons in an atom increases. This increases the nuclear force on the electrons, making it harder for them to be lost. As you move down the group, this one is the atomic radius increases. This makes it easier to lose electrons because the distance between the nucleus and the valence electrons